The Kaldheim Championships were this past weekend, and this deck was played by someone in the historic portion. I'm going to be honest, it was a split format tournament, and I didn't care enough to dig through to see what this deck's actual record was, but regardless of what its record was in the actual tournament, I'm sure the person who worked on it and submitted it spent a lot of time working on it. It's got some neat ideas here. So we've played Paradox Engine decks before, where the basic idea is every time you cast a spell, untap all other non-land permanents you control. So we've got a bunch of things that tap for mana, and then we've got things that double up things that are tapped for mana. And we've got Brazen Outlaw here that whenever it becomes tapped, you make treasure. So like I assume we tap Magda with things like Sentinel and Caretaker here. Magda also enables Mox Amber. And then we use cards like Showdown and Escape the Wilds to draw through our deck, casting a bunch of spells while we do so, untapping our lands every time we cast spells. And then eventually we have an Aetherflux Reservoir. There's Escape the Wilds, another engine, an Aetherflux Reservoir, and some Yarshans hiding behind my banner here. The sideboard is 13 one-ofs and 2 Yasharn here. So, seems like a neat deck. Let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see if it is more than neat and maybe a little bit good. That's true. You do technically have a backup plan of attacking with creatures that have a bunch of Showdown of the Skalds counters on them as well. Does not seem unreasonable. I think we're definitely keeping these in the lands. So we technically have all 5 colors with these making a black, huh? I guess this is just trying to draw like copies of Escape the Wilds though, so keeping that and mulliganing Escape the Wild seems loose. Thanks for, we had a bunch of resubs while my buff loading screen was up, by the way. Luke, thank you for the 7 months, and J-Wall 19, Saucer Crab with the 26. Appreciate all y'all. That's perfect, so I get to do this now, then I get to play a tapped land, and then we get to Escape the Wilds on turn 3. Mainly a YouTube watcher, want to say thanks for being a decent human and encouraging others to do the same while being entertaining as well. Thanks, IB Not. I really appreciate the 13 months. Wouldn't be here without folks like you. Yeah, Llanowar Elf was a real good pickup there. Opponent playing Black-White Auras here, maybe? Black-White Auras, if you didn't look at the metrics from this past weekend, look to be kind of the deck of the tournament, for lack of a better term. Definitely had the most successful weekend overall from historic decks. Outperforming even the Jund decks. How many lands did I have to add this deck? I did not add any lands to this deck. It's got plenty of mana in it. Bogle's decks are real good. I don't think it's really fair to classify this archetype as Bogles just purely because of what we've seen this game even, right? Like, you know, we see here part of the reason why the opponent's archetype is good is because it's not just this linear deck where you can't interact with it, right? A big part of what's making the opponent's archetype strong is, again, that it's able to prey on creatures and interact with them. People that are calling this deck Bogles, I don't think have really played it. Yeah, I think a lot of the people saying that haven't really played much Modern, and they just do like the low effort shortcut of, oh, this deck plays enchant creatures and Core Spirit Dancer, so it must be like this other enchant creature Core Spirit Dancer deck, and that just like couldn't be further from the truth for people that like actually understand nuance. This card is low key like the biggest reason their deck is so good. Just like making it basically impossible to interact with their stuff is brutal. The fact that it prevents exile removal as well is huge. I'm pretty sure we're just supposed to click submit with this deck. I'm pretty sure like there's 13 1-ofs and 2 Yasharn in the sideboard, and I'm pretty sure if we're not boarding in Yasharn, we're just clicking submit. If our opponent hadn't had the audacity to interact with us, we probably would have outlineared them on the play that game. But our opponent was explicitly not a Bogles deck that decided to interact with all of our creatures, which was very good. Hey, the Sunback, thanks for 37 months. Welcome back. Hopefully we get, if I recall correctly, you've been doing some Runeterra stuff, right? Maybe I'm mixing your username up with someone else. Hopefully we get a decent Runeterra patch tomorrow. Do I want to save this to make blue? I actually think the Kaldheim top 8 Abzan mid-range deck looks super mediocre. I can't imagine that deck being actually good in the format. It looks like a really awkward metagame choice. I actually think that Abzan deck is a good example of explicitly what you're not supposed to do in a format like Historic. It's like a deck that's just like not very good in general, and it's designed to metagame against one narrow specific thing. And like even the Kaldheim Championship, like the Kaldheim Championship is probably the most narrow Historic format you're ever gonna have anywhere. And even there, you know, the Jund deck was only 1 in 3 decks, and I kind of expect the Jund deck to get less popular after its results from that event. This is the deck that I expect to pick up, if anything. I would imagine that Abzan deck is god-awful against this Aura's deck. Zingzal, thank you for the 16 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, I've been enjoying the variety stuff too. Nier's been really good. We're gonna play some more of that this afternoon. And it's Zana I Bro. Thanks for the brand new Prime support. Good morning, good morning. I shouldn't block here because you could have dead weight. Oh gosh. Mana. I almost shocked that in, but I actually don't have white, so I can't cast this. This needs another creature to tap with it for mana. Hey, good to have you for a live one, bro. I appreciate the Prime support. If I were to try and sell Nier to someone who's played a lot of other video games but hasn't played specifically Nier before, I think the big thing Nier does different than other games really well is the range of combat modes that you go through. It's like largely a third-person over-the-shoulder RPG game, but like it also has parts where like a side-scrolling fighting game, among other things. So one... Oh, I can actually cast the Escape the Wilds here now, right? Because these each tap for 2. Kinan's real good here. I do not play music on my stream other than the starting soon music. J Rods, thanks for the 3/4 of a year. Welcome back. Speaking of music, yeah, my shirt is Vitamin String Quartet. They actually sponsored my stream for 6 or 7 months a while back. They sent me some merch when they did. What's going on, my little Toriel? Aim to please. Thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Yeah, they make very good stuff. They do string covers of lots of different things. A lot of video game music stuff too. Well, I mean, it's not even like my stream has no music on it, right? Like, there's plenty, like, the arena music is, like, genuinely very reasonable. Leave blue up so we can cast a Kinnan if we find it. I need red. Surf. That should do it, right? We could cast all of those. No? So the problem is that, so I can cast Paradox Engine, but then I can't cast another spell after it is the issue. I agree with that, Lucas. Usually the audio design inside of actual games meshes with what's going on screen well. The audio design is good. I could Skalds for YOLO Ambers. That's true. There's actually only 2 more Ambers in the deck, though. Yeah, I could technically take 4 more hits there, but we're dead. And again, like, just to talk about how, you know, my opponent's deck isn't just this linear Bogle's deck, both of those games in that set, they won explicitly because they interacted with me a bunch. Had they just been this linear deck, they definitely would have lost. Morning, Shuki. Our hand's very good here. You'll have to forgive me, chat, if I miss some things today. I'm streaming with only 2 monitors when I've generally streamed with 3 for the better part of the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 years at this point. I replaced my center monitor because it was starting to go out and I had it fail on me. Yeah, of course I have 3 monitors. I'm not some kind of pleb, chat. my center monitor was starting to fail on me, so I elected to replace it before it went completely out. And, so I did get my issue with my center monitor sorted, but the issue with the center monitor was it doesn't work when I'm using the DisplayPort connection, so I have to use HDMI. And I don't have a second HDMI or DisplayPort to HDMI adapter, so I can only have 2 screens hooked up at the moment. I had to buy a piece of hardware. Yeah, I actually was thinking about getting some upgrades, and so right now I have my new one that I bought is a 27-inch 1440, like the old one I replaced, but my side panels are only 21-inch 1080 monitors, and I was thinking about getting 1 or 2 more of this 1440 panel because I've been real happy with it. Some monitors don't enable all features on HDMI. Well, the monitor literally does not work with sleep when it's connected via display mode. So if you weren't on the subs Discord last night, my computer literally cannot wake up from sleep when my new monitor is attached via DisplayPort. And I can only assume the reason for that is because Windows is a trash operating system that doesn't have basic hardware support in 2021. Thanks for the 27 months, Scissor. I appreciate that. And Charles, thanks for the tip. Let's try and get some Teamer Infinite turns. We can give it a try. Alright, am I escaping the wilds or are we showdowning? I think we're showdowning. I have to pay 1 to showdown? Maybe that's a reason to do this. Yeah, I was actually thinking, so because my side panels are 1080s, I might actually be able to do 2 monitors if they were both 1440 panels. You're working on 1 monitor. Yikes. Yeah, I could never do 1. 2's pretty reasonable, especially with one of them being a 1440 screen, higher resolution. Probably dead here again. This game we're just, I guess we're not completely just getting out linear. They killed these 2 again. If either of these had survived, we probably would have been okay here. Gamoli, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate it. Welcome back. I would say the key difference between something being a TV and something being a monitor is definitely the resolution on it. I guess TVs get up to 4K now, but usually the pixel density is the relevant thing in my mind. Usually monitors have a much higher pixel density. Yeah, response rate too. Of course you can, Goomy Mole. We aim to please here. 1 full Hoglandian. TVs have a tuner. Not necessarily these days. I think that line's mostly blurred. Yeah, usually for my streaming setup, I like 3 screens because I put my game and my Twitch chat on 1 screen in front of me, and then I put OBS up on 1 so I can keep an eye on that, and then I put Discord / a web browser on the 3rd. Be sure we lead on Caretaker here, because it's least likely to die. Nice. Okay, so now I can Kinnan into double dork here. Alright, so like this is the nuts drop potentially. So this is free to cast, right? No, is that not true? No, that's not true. I'm dumb. We're already using those. It's probably gonna put us far enough behind to lose. Should stop and count before going by the gut on a new deck. I didn't kill any of these last turn though, so that bodes well for us this turn. It only lit up 2 of them when I hovered this last turn, which threw me off. I would have been able to cast this anyways by shocking myself. Pretty loose mistake. Arena sound design is very good. Quite literally, my only complaint about Arena sound design is that it's too sparse. It needs more. Cards should talk to each other like in Runeterra. Would be my big complaint. Is this a combo deck? Yes. It is a Paradox Engine combo deck. Our lack of a second castable spell with this Paradox Engine really sucks. Huh? We play this tapped, and then we cast this, and we put another counter on here, and then we try and do something with Kinnan next turn. And I want to play Kinnan this turn and let him die. Is Cardboard Live not working? Oh, did that not restart? Oh, it didn't finish. Thanks. Thanks for the poke. Cardboard Live should be up now. Right, this lets them kill my stuff every time they hit me. We are dead to a deal 3 taking this hit, but I need all my creatures next turn. We're gonna lose if I don't have them, so, you know, kill me. Moonboat, thanks for the 3rd of the year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Did we do it? I don't think so. I think we're back at the exact same point where, again, I can get, and this is the part we've been like almost every game this set, where I can put Paradox Engine into play here, but I don't have a spell to cast after Paradox Engine to untap all my mana producers. Yeah, so far our deck's been mono tire spinning. It's our opponents like pointed a removal spell at our Kinnan and we flopped over and died. Can't Mox untap. I need the Mox to cast the Paradox Engine, chat. I don't think this deck was in the top 8. Was it? This is just a deck someone played at the tournament. This is historic. Yeah, formats in the stream title. A nice draw. Lets me cast this. Would it be rude to say after playing this deck for the last 30 minutes, I'm not surprised that this was not in the top 8? It is just being honest. It lost them a point of damage, but it gained them a food you please. So they valued the food higher than the point of damage. Alright, so I think we're getting Escape to the Wilds here. And then we do this, and then we cast this. Make sure we float mana here. Okay, so we can play a land, make green, make green, make colorless, cast this, untap everything. Make red, make white, make colorless, cast this, untap everything. Oh wait. Oh, I messed up. I should have played the Mox, right? I could have been making mana with this too. If I played this to start, I missed 2 mana here technically. Okay, so I think I want to cycle this. And if I cycle this, I get to draw a card. And then drawing a card means I can use this, discarding these. And pick this back up. Hey, quick Johnny. Thank you for QQ really doesn't do a whole lot in this deck because it doesn't tap these idiots. I wish upon a star. Okay, and now we can get Portal is Sanctuary. Okay, and now we're infinite and they're dead, right? Because now what I can do is cast this, which triggers all of this. So this is the kill condition. I'm glad we got to at least pop off once. And now we do this. Yeah, we can cast the whole sideboard, which includes a copy of Aetherflux Reservoir. That's the thing, chat. What you just witnessed was the thing in action. That's the goal. You get set up with Paradox Engine and all your mana dorkles, and you twiddle and you diddle. And eventually they die to a blast him. All right, at least we can rate the set off as a success because we did that. It does, Conqueror. You won, but at what cost? Just a small amount of carpal tunnel. What's a little bit of carpal tunnel between friends anyways, though, really? Look at the way they massacred my boy, Chip. We do have a Citadel combo deck in the queue. We do and do. Making some mana. These new cards are so far away. There, it is going to be a hot second. The fact that they front-loaded all of the archive means we're going to be waiting a bit. As an FYI for people, I tweeted this out, but I want to mention it on Twitch too. My schedule for the next couple of weeks. Is going to be a little bit lighter. Yeah. Also, while we wait for the new cards, any of the stream days where I do near Automata, those Twitch archives are not going to be available because I'm playing near Automata with the music, which from my not a lawyer understanding of the permissions that they give me is okay, but that doesn't prevent false claims from happening on Twitch. So for the sake of not getting hit by a bad faith DCMA claim, I'm taking them down on Twitch. YouTube. Well, it's not about deleting proof, because I don't believe I'm breaking the TOS based on how the music in that game is distributed. But Twitch does not have the same tools as YouTube to protect myself. So as always, my content's all up on YouTube. Please watch my replays on YouTube anyways. I prefer people do that in general. But that's why the Twitch VODs aren't there for the Nier Automata. VODs, yeah. The music in Nier is really good. So, like, if I'm able, the TOS looks like it allows me, or the license that's released under looks like it allows me to stream it. I want to do that if I can. So it's real good. Well, so the fundamentally broken thing about the DCMA system for people who aren't content creators and don't understand what the core issue is that a lot of people have is that having permission to stream music doesn't prevent you from being able to get hit by a claim by it. So there are people out there who legitimately steal music and are broadcasting things they don't have the rights to broadcast. But the flip side of that is there are also people broadcasting music that they can, like Nier, for example. The music is original to that game, and that game gives you permission to stream their original music. And that doesn't prevent people from claiming that anyways. And Twitch doesn't have tools to protect creators to allow you to differentiate bad faith claims and dispute them versus, you know, actually punishing people who are stealing things that they don't have permission to broadcast. That's the fundamental issue. On YouTube, when someone makes a copy claim against you or copyright tries to give you a copy strike, you can submit evidence saying, hey, I think this was made by a mistake, or I think this was made maliciously, and this is that. Well, so, and this is, okay, we're dead. I am not a lawyer. And this is not legal advice, you should consult a lawyer. But like, so one of the things people point to a lot of the time is, I heard a country singer got a claim for singing their own song. They could be in the wrong there, chat. Like, just because you wrote a song doesn't mean you didn't license that song to a company and give up the rights to that song. So I know that that's an easy one where like you think about it on the surface and don't put a lot of effort into it. Oh, they wrote this song, they should guaranteed have permission to broadcast it wherever they want. But that's not guaranteed to be the case. A lot of especially big artists sell their music to labels and lose permission to broadcast it. So some explicitly retain those rights, but it's a very complex topic that's not, a lot of people try and make it super cut and dry. Yeah, that too. A lot of singers don't write their own songs. Taylor Swift has had to re-release her first 3 out of 4 albums because she didn't have the original rights. So yeah, exactly. Like there's this goes far beyond just Twitch. Like the scope of it and the details, the nuance that goes into it is huge. A lot of people like to write it off as, oh, you should just guaranteed be able to do this. And that just like couldn't be further from the truth. It's a very, very typical low IQ, low effort. I don't want to think about the nuance. I just want to say what sounds right in my gut. Well, we drew the only forest in our deck that Yarshan could have tutored up. Yikes. Sure, I don't think anybody reasonable will tell you that they think copyright has kept up well with the digital. Nobody reasonable is going to tell you they think copyright laws have kept up well. I think that's just objectively not true. Are games that offer options for filtering music you can't stream the rule or the exception? They're very much the exception. That is, could not be further from the norm. Cyberpunk was one of the first games to implement an option like that, and they even flubbed implementing that option, and they had music that got people copy struck in what was supposed to be their streamer safe mode. So hopefully more games will be adding that, especially games that want to use content creators as someone to promote their games. Ideally they'll all start doing that. Yeah, like, for example, you know, I played Spider-Man Miles Morales on stream when that came out, and that has a bunch of, like top 40 style music in it that you very much don't have the rights to broadcast. Greeny T, thank you for the tier 1 sub, by the way. Bluefire, you've been subbed to my channel for 7 months. Do you really not realize that I have a YouTube channel that you can go and watch every bit of content that I produce on Twitch on that YouTube channel? So, like, the fact that there's not a Twitch bot there in no way, shape, or form stops you from watching what happened. So, like, I take some time every single day to make sure stuff gets put on YouTube. For explicitly that reason. Oh, I don't have the Twitch chat on the overlay for my variety streams. That's what you're saying. That's the detail we're looking for that's disconnected. It's not that you don't know I have YouTube, it's that I don't usually have chat up on the overlay. That's the disconnect here. Got it. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna change that. It's usually action. Real video games don't have as much dead space, and I don't really want to shrink the window. Justin Alajan, thank you for the entire year. Happy March. The 12 months of March. Welcome back. Hey, thanks for the sub gift, Niv. I appreciate it. Well, let's start here. Alright, well, I found a Paradox engine and a Mox Amber, but I don't really do much with it, right? I guess I can activate Kinnan, and Kinnan could find a We can technically activate Kinnan, and Kinnan can find Fae of Wishes, right? We could redraw with the Mind Stone. Yeah, that's true too. I wanna make mana with these first though. Hey, Jonah, thanks for the 17 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Oh, would I have made more mana if I would have led on Coldsteel Heart first? I think so. If I would have done that before the Mox, probably would have made more mana. And I'd have two more. Alright, let's do this. Untap this. Yeah, I think I had mana for Coldsteel. And we'll keep the old Kinnan, obviously, because it's bigger. Okay. And then recycle this. So this technically lets us make a bunch of mana here again. This is a ramp spell. Okay, do I have enough mana for this to be useful now? I think I do. So I have 4 or 5 left over, so we pick this up. And then we cast this for granted, and it untaps all my stuff. And then we grab the portal. Then we do this. Skalds isn't too bad. I can auto-order trigger abilities here. So now we could do this, and then this lets me pick this up. And then I wish upon a star. And untaps everything. We grab... We actually kill relatively quickly here with the Aetherflux Reservoir. Yeah, we cast, and then Reservoir Fae plus this lets us cast an unlimited number of spells, generate a bunch of life, and then blast it. Thanks for 17 months, by the way, Jonah. And thanks for the 1.5 year ETL Red Ranger. Sorry, I was clicking a bunch while you resubbed. Sweet. That was like actually kind of impressive, right? Like it felt like we had nothing to do there, and then it felt like we weren't doing anything, and then we activated Kinnan twice and like dug 10 cards to find a Fae of Wishes and killed them, which was kind of neat. Yeah, something like this, Roz, could be a great spot for Mind's Desire. Yeah, very Jeskai Ascendancy adjacent. As someone who's played a lot of that archetype. For sure. So we're going to bottom the Forest and the Mox here. We'll keep these two. Is Ascendancy and Pioneer? It is. One of the reasons I love watching Just content is if I show up midstream, not only do I have no idea what's happening, but it looks like he's playing a different game than I am, and sometimes perhaps he is. Okay, so Elf, second land, pass. Next turn I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana, so I can go Engine into Showdown. I really need you to host like 3 historic tournaments in a row so I can play different decks. Now I gotta pick just one and tune it for 2 days before the tournament. I mean, to be fair, Suna, we're probably, like, I think the plan moving forward is to do a tournament every 3 to 4 weeks. So, you're gonna have a chance to play your sweet deck idea in a Hoaglandia tournament, most likely, if it ends up being reasonable. Blue is the color. Thank you for the tier 2 in the 23 months. Welcome back. So, for the upcoming archives, all of the newly added cards to the format are rare. So cards that are currently standard legal are commons and uncommons, or maybe commons and uncommons, and all the rares and mythics are cards that are not standard legal. Yes, you will open the Mystical Archives in normal booster packs, chat. But wait! Come back, opponent! I wasn't done drawing cards yet, opponent! Come back! Come back! Well, chat, it would appear that we drew so many cards, my arena couldn't handle... We drew so many cards, Arena couldn't handle it and couldn't bring us to the sideboarding screen. So, I'm gonna restart this real quick. How we doing today, folks? You know, just happy Monday. Arena's feeling the Mondays. We did mulligan to 5 that game. There's that background. That is the blue-red command from Strixhaven. Alright. Reconnecting got me to a sideboarding screen. Got it. Nailed it. Poured in a couple of Yasharn. I hope they give Mystical Archives duplicate protection. So, if you craft all of the common and uncommon archives, you're not going to guaranteed get rare and mythic archives in all of your packs. That's not going to work that way, if that's what you're thinking. We got Strictly Better Boros and Braid. It's a sorcery. Kid Martian. Yeah, VSQ is a sponsor at one point. I got an ICR that was a mythic, and it wasn't just 40 gems, it was a mythic that I didn't have? Is Arena broken? That's not supposed to work that way. Someone go file a bug report. That's not working as intended. Sorry we crashed. Here's a mythic ICR. Ooh. I actually had to open booster packs before we could play this deck today, chat. Believe it or not, I didn't have 4 Paradox engines. So I had to open 20 Kaladesh remastered packs before we could build this. There's something especially poetic about making a cat oven player sit there and wait for you to click through your combo. The Japanese variants are 100% coming to Arena, guaranteed. I posted a tweet about the Shahar thing, but just to reiterate for people that are smart and don't use Twitter. If you don't use Twitter, chat, you're far smarter than all of us that do. Anywho, there's a very simple reason why Magic Arena doesn't have a tournament client, chat. It wouldn't be profitable for Arena to spend time developing a tournament client. Is just the blunt TLDR. Arena has no incentive to spend time developing a tournament mode. They don't. I can cast this now, right? Yeah, just turn 3 Niv. Someone at Wizards of the Coast at one point did a cost evaluation and concluded that it was not profitable to add a tournament mode to Arena, and honestly, they're almost assuredly right. This is a pretty good turn 3, chat. Slightly above average. Haha! Alright, chat. If they're not playing Sacrifice, click Submit. Chase Clark, thank you for the 1.5 years. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Come back, opponent! I wasn't done drawing cards to take your game actions. Yeah, exclamation point deck. Should have a link to my Cardboard Live page that has our current deck as well as past decks on it. Morning, Maddie. Decent chance we see counter spells post board. Think the opponent's playing 5-color Niv probably from over the weekend. This deck is doing a wonderful job of taking my mind off the fact that I put my life savings in a Sue's shipping corporation. Ah, the stock market. The most legal of gamblings. Baby crisis do 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 do. Baby crisis do 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 do. I think I'm casting Fae of Wishes here. And getting Escape to the Wilds. Like, I have Dub's Paradox Engine in my hand. So I can't shock twice here, because I'll die. Yeah, we're definitely feeling our mana base here this morning. This deck would be a delight to play on your cell phone. Delight. I assume this elf is dead. Pretty soon we'll have to worry about our opponent's deck killing us with Lightning Helix when we're at 2. Mobile stream win. I get plenty frustrated with Magic Arena on my gaming PC. Not about to try it on mobile. Alright, so the fact that they did that means that they also have a way to kill this, right? Because otherwise they'd Maelstrom Pulse that and then kill this. The performance of Magic Arena on mobile is more than reasonable. The performance doesn't change the fact that Magic the Gathering is not a game that fits well on a cell phone screen. It's just the blunt, cold, hard truth. There are many matches of Magic and games of Magic that it doesn't run well. It doesn't run well, it just doesn't fit on that form factor. Yeah, sometimes Magic doesn't fit on your table, right? It's definitely accurate. Like, I have board states on my 27-inch monitor that, like, I don't even think it's fair to criticize the UI. Like, Magic, again, it just isn't a game that's designed to be played on a screen like that. And, like, sure, it works, like, if it's your only option, it's plenty functional. Like, the number of games, this is where we get Maelstrom Pulse. Yeah, the number of games where, like, you're gonna have a bad experience are definitely less than the games where it's going to work fine. Like, it's gonna be fine in a lot of use cases, but, like, there's definitely a number of board states you're going to be able to point to where you're like, this just doesn't work on mobile. Yeah, there's a reason why games like Hearthstone and Runeterra and stuff like that like, run really, really well on mobile are, like, designed from the start of their game design to be able to fit on a mobile screen elegantly, right? Like, the way Hearthstone and Runeterra limit the number of things you can have on your board at a time, that's definitely a consideration because they run on mobile, right? Yeah, Mythgard has 7 lanes, exactly. How long will Arena take to create a pseudo-legacy format? We have one now. It's called, whatever this other thing is. Literally have that already. With the injection of mystical archives, the pseudo legacy format's gonna be true more than ever. Oh man, they're super dead, right? Maybe how much mana do I have? Yeah, that's the real question. It's not how long until we have a pseudo legacy format. The question is how long until we have a pseudo vintage format where you get to play with cards like Oko and Demonic Tutor and Swords to Plowshares. That's the real question you want to ask yourself. That's the question I want to know the answer to. They are deterministically dead, right? Oh no, wait, I can't gain life. Huh. I have something in my sideboard that deals with that though, right? I hope. Oh, I missed making mana there. Oh yeah, I have a deck in stone. Okay, we're fine. Yeah, opponent is dead. For those that are just joining us, our opponent has died. I'm gonna be clicking for a minute. But we're gonna get him, okay? Come on this adventure together with me. Our opponent is dying. Our opponent probably doesn't know they're dead yet. I see dead people, and they don't even know they're dead. Do the Zoomers in chat get that reference? That's an old movie at this point, right? That movie's got to be old enough to vote. Almost clicked through. Wait, shit. Wow, it just let me click through. I'm glad I have treasures. I'm glad I have treasures here to be able to do this. Yikes. Yikes. Nobody panic! 22 years old, The Sixth Sense. Why would you hurt me by telling me that, chat? What did you stand to gain by sharing this information with me? Yeah, it just skipped to a new phase and it emptied my mana pool when I clicked it by mistake. And I'm trying to click quickly so I don't time out. So again, we have unlimited mana and we have unlimited Fae of Wishes with the portal. So eventually we're gonna get Aetherflux Reservoir, we'll play Reservoir, we'll gain a bunch of life, and we'll blast them for 50. If you enjoy holding your opponent hostage while you pleasure yourself by diddling and undiddling your creatures, chat, boy do I have the deck for you. And soon this deck will get to play Mind's Desire, chat. That's exciting. We'll get to play Mind's Desire soon. What's going on, Alran? It's definitely not as cheap as Runeterra, that's for sure. It's a little speculative, but it's reasonable. Hopefully we'll get a decent Runeterra patch news tomorrow. I don't plan to stop playing Magic anytime soon, but I'd like to mix a little bit of Runeterra in here and there. When there are games worth playing, it's very reasonable. We didn't spike the second land I was hoping for. Honestly, these pauses feel like a stomp, right? So I think I'm just passing here rather than playing out something that dies to a red piece of red removal. There's a very good chance our deck just isn't good flying. Like, there's a reason why this archetype isn't a thing in Historic for a reason. I agree with you that it feels like we just keep getting picked apart. As a point of reference. It unfortunately wasn't a stomp. Yeah, punish for not playing out another thing there since they had a braid, not a deal 2. Obviously, if we know they have a deal 3 and not a deal 2, I'd have played out another thing. Braid. Dear opponent, don't kill me next turn. Go. I'm not dead yet. Come on, stop it. All right, good. All right. Now, the real question is, can we kill them back? I don't know if the answer to that question is yes. So there's a Paradox engine in my board. But that doesn't really accomplish anything for me, right? I think we have to do this. And see where we go. We have to hit, like, engine plus, like, double Mox here. Which is unlikely. Yeah, we're dead here. It's not bad, considering we missed our second land drop on 2. After a mulligan. Did we mulligan? Might have kept 7. And we missed our second land drop on 2 either way, and they killed the Mana Dork. I could have fished up Blaze there, couldn't I? Did I have enough mana for that? I would have lost Kinnan and the dwarf, but my other things would have survived. It's a good thought. Would have wiped their board and left them on 1 card. I mean, so what are you cutting for that, Weens? And like, also, part of the reason why we tire spun in a game like that last one was because they killed our stuff, right? So like, they had a breeds and things, they would have just killed Aetherflux Reservoir, right? Pengu Power. Thank you for the 18 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Well. Probably getting abraded this turn. Feeling the vibe today. Listen, you're gonna have to explain this whole vibing thing to me, because I'm too old to understand what it means. That's a Zoomer thing, right? Vibing? I've seen that reference before, but I can't quite tell you what it implies. I'm 42 and I have no idea. Yeah, not a clue. Actual zero clue. I think we're supposed to do this and then draw. So I could do this. It untaps my stuff. And then I could do this. Cast granted. It untaps my stuff. I'll grab Escape to the Wilds here. Alright, so I'm gonna cast a bunch of these, making a bunch of mana. And then we'll cycle the Mind Stone and see where we go from there. I think it's the play. Another land. Okay, so we draw this. Oh, I can pick up Fae of Wishes, right? I have all these treasures. Oh, that's kind of gross. All right, we're good, right? We're infinite. Are we infinite? I can't tell if we're infinite. So this does this. This shocks in. This shocks in. Cast granted. I'm making 3 mana per cycle, right? So I can grab the portal. Now we grab the Aetherflux Reservoir. And that was 12. And like even, I don't think we have enough to full combo here, but we have enough that we're gonna gain enough life that they can't win from this spot, right? It doesn't look like we quite have enough mana to full combo, but I'm gonna trigger this and gain 13. Oh, I am gonna be able to cast one more spell, then they die, right? Yeah, I'm gonna get to 50 is exactly right. And unsummon in the board here technically gives you extra in a pinch as well, right? So anyways, I started blasting. Nice. That was turn 4, BT dubs. For those at home that are counting, that was turn 4. Bing bonk, bing bonk. Moonlight and Pengu Power, thanks for the resubs while I was clicking. Apologies, I didn't want to time out. I'm hyped for the next open too. His next historic open with Mystical Archive is going to be a blast, much like that last game. So, oh, you could cast it without playing Granted. Yeah, you're right. That's it. I was thinking I had to Granted in the middle, but you're right. You just cast it, bounce it, cast it, bounce it, cast it, bounce it, and have unlimited. Good call. No, sorry, it was turn 7, Leluke, because I took 4 turns and they took 3 turns, and 4 plus 3 is 7. Quick maths. Alright, this end obviously needs a white source, but pretty good if it finds one. Yeah, that's a really good observation, Drakari. Part of the reason why we were able to win that last game was explicitly because of the change to the companion rule, where I was able to draw this to my hand to then discard it. Yikes. Maybe I'm supposed to just draw Wellspring there, speaking of, instead of cycling Mind Stone. It's probably better.
I bestow a mighty curse.
Man, I gotta imagine a Thoughtseize-based deck like the opponent's has gotta just be a miserable matchup for us. No, I'm gonna draw this and play this tapped, rather than putting Kinnan into play for it to just die. Getting Kinnan out to die doesn't really accomplish much.
House Markov grows stronger.
That's true. The opponent's deck is going to be playing Inquisition of Kozilek soon. For sure. Don't mulligan against the Thoughtseize deck, chat. Wait, Inquisition will go in Historic with Strixhaven like Blue Sun, Natural Order, Looting. Well, Natural Order won't be legal. So yeah, 56 of the 63 Mystical Archives will be legal in Historic. If you want to get my thoughts on which ones I think are going to be reasonable and why, I've got a video up there on the YouTube channel. So if you haven't been following along, 63 of the archives will be on Arena for drafting purposes, and 56 of them will be legal in Historic. How hard is it to build a Storm deck around Tendrils in Historic? I think Tendrils is easily the worst of the Stormwind cons. There's probably a Mind's Desire deck that includes 1 to 2 copy of Tendrils as its kill con. It's not strictly true. Maybe there's a, yeah, I can build around Tendrils. There's probably a red-black Storm deck with the big red Overload card that's fine too. Historic will be a healthier format than Modern. I mean, that's subjective. The two best Storm enablers for Tendrils and Grapeshot are the Overload spell and Mind's Desire. So, the problem, Conqueror, is that if you're doing Paradoxical Outcome, you'd rather just play Mind's Desire, right? Like, why would you use Tendrils instead of Mind's Desire? Like, maybe Tendrils is your win condition after you Mind's Desire. The healthiest part of Historic will be that it's not on MTGO. Big mood. 1000-Year Storm is Historic legal. Oh gosh. Is there a collected Conjuring Grapeshot deck maybe? With 1000-Year Storm? Maybe like collected Conjuring 1000-Year Storm Grapeshot? That could be funny. There's also, there's a Strixhaven uncommon that whenever you cast a spell, you get a treasure token. I'm supposed to Caretaker draw this, actually. Is that why Kinnan doesn't die to a removal spell this turn? Yeah. Two decks today, silly cheese. My plan is to do two decks every day for the next couple of weeks. So I've been doing 3 to 4, but with the new set coming up soon, I'm gonna be taking it easy the next couple of weeks. Feels like they have a Doomblade. So I can still play this next turn, so I probably want to play this one. I guess this play leaves me dead to a single removal, does it? 3, 6, 3, 9, 10. No, not quite. If they killed this, I'm taking 10 between these two. Drana has First Strike. It puts a counter on each of their things when she hits. So these two attack. If they pump this, this will pump this another one before it hits me. So I want to tap these for mana last in case I hit a Kinnan. Because if I hit Kinnan, these tap for more mana later. Oh, I tapped off my second red. I thought I put this on red. That's awkward. I have to tap this if I want red now, which isn't ideal. I think we're dead at this point. Let's do one more with this, see if we can pop off one more time before we roll along to some mono black control. A little bit better sequencing. I would add slightly more mana there, but I don't think it really mattered. Out of Ghastly in there. It's a shame one of these isn't a second land. This would be really good otherwise. Pretty good. This makes blue for us. This matchup actually doesn't seem terrible for this deck. Wow! Holy shit! Fuck the auto tapper. Good lord! How is that remotely okay? Wow! Okay, so Coldsteel Heart should have been in play last turn. If I would have put a stop, I would have been able to Caretaker, tap this, make a treasure token, use this mana plus the treasure token, cast Coldsteel Heart last turn. But here we are. Woof. Arena clearly doesn't consider that line of play a possibility, chat. Obviously. If I draw this, I can cast it this turn as well. Here's hoping Y sticks. I feel like tomorrow's Runeterra patch notes kind of set the direction for like what they want their game to be in my mind. Like if tomorrow's patch notes don't turn Runeterra back in the direction of a game that I want to play, it's probably just not a game I'm gonna play ever again. Cause like it feels like I would believe they missed that they were turning their game into just mono combos, but if they leave it mono combos, is this the right video? This video explains it, I think. Is this the right one? What changed? Yeah, that's the one. 13-minute video talking through. We're super dead, right? We're Mayhem Devil and we have nothing. Yeah, I genuinely think that Runeterra, there is an inkling in my mind that Runeterra wants their game to be riddled with combos in their best of one game. I think there's a chance that, and honestly, that's not to say that, I think their decision is wrong. I think there's a chance that, like, I'm atypical and they'll reach more players having their game be combo decks versus combo decks, but I don't want to play Runeterra as a combo game. Captain Butt Stuff, thanks for the half a year. Welcome back. So, like, Bennis, I'm not expecting there to be no changes tomorrow. Like, for example, I'm expecting them to nerf Twisted Fizz tomorrow. But, like, for example, things I'm not expecting to change are the plethora of combo decks that exist in their format. Like, I'm not expecting them to address Lee Sin or Fiora or the Watcher combo or Ledros combo. Like, it isn't a question of will there be changes. It's a question of will there be changes that push the game in a direction that I'm excited to play. I think I'm just drawing Wellspring here. Am I? I could just make a treasure here too. I'm gonna make a treasure and pass, actually. Having the extra mana sounds good. Morning, Brandon. Ooh, all right. Nice treasure tokens, idiot. But she's making treasures that are gonna kill my creatures, Mayhem Devil. She's on your team. Ah! Huge tracts of land. Have to grab Escape to the Wilds here again, right? Mayhem Devil isn't the problem, right? I mean, the Jund deck isn't just one thing, chat. The Jund deck is good because it's the sum of its parts. The Mayhem Devil is like one of the many pieces of the engine that make the deck really good as a whole. Yeah, I think I recorded that Runeterra video at like midnight. I like had an idea of what I wanted to say and crept down to my office before I went to bed for the evening. Power up Kinnan so he doesn't die when we sack some of these treasures and friends. I think we're doing it, chat. Are they dead? I think they're dead at this point, right? So I can cast this. And then I can pay 3 and put this into my hand. And I can activate this. Discard these. We go get our portal. Yeah, okay, so they're dead. So we get the portal. Yeah, the companion being pay 3 mana, draw a card to discard to Fae of Wishes has been real good. QQ taps most of your mana producers except for these. I'm tapping the Mind Stones and friends with that. So now, granted, untap some stuff, and it goes and gets, what's it called for us? Aetherflux Reservoir. What 3 non-pioneer legal cards you like to see in Horic? Number 3 was Delver. Yeah, I think Delver with Brainstorm's still fine. I think without fetch lands, Brainstorm's probably not overbearing. Still Delver. Delver, Vendilion Click, Restoration Angel. Delver, Vendilion Click, Restoration Angel. I think would be my top 3 right now. I have a short list of cards past that. Like, I would like to see, like, Lingering Souls and Garrick Relentless, Birthing Pod. Maybe Birthing Pod hedges out Restoration Angel. I definitely want Click and Delver. Birthing Pod. Listen, chat. We're getting Phyrexian mana on this application with Tezzeret's Gambit. If Phyrexian mana is coming to Magic Arena and it's not for the explicit purpose of giving us Birthing Pod, someone messed up. Birthing Pod, chat. Birthing Pod. Come on. Say it with me, Arena devs. What is it about Innistrad sets that you love so much you seem to like a lot of cards? There's just a ton of great designs in Innistrad. Like from a pure design perspective, Innistrad has just a number of phenomenal designs. Arasanari, thank you for the 60 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. You got a Mayhem Devil opponent. Oh yeah, Spellskite. Spellskite's a real good one, actually. I'd love to see Spellskite in this format. This is our turn 3, by the way, for people at home who are counting. For those of you following along at home. Yikes. Well, we're all dressed up and we don't quite have anywhere to go, chat. I've got huge tracts of land. You could argue our deck's really missing its engine piece at this point, I think. Allow me to show you the moose of my people. I feel like we just attacked them. Yeah, probably. It was probably wrong. I probably should have activated Kinnan rather than playing Wellspring. That's probably a wash. This is instant speed, right? Oh shit! This is gaining Death Touch. Oh, so we're dead, right? Bro Bait, thanks for the entire year. Welcome back. I forgot that was about to give it Death Touch, which means, yeah, we're just done. Alright, I mean, I guess we do this. I don't know, maybe we hit like we hit an escape next turn, but like, yeah, that's
Time to step out of the shadows.
Alright, I mean, if we hit one of our big draw spells next turn, we could be okay. They're gonna get to kill a couple things here, but I have a lot of mana. Yeah, but if I hit a Fae of Wishes there, Steric, I was gonna get to combo. So like, it's right to go looking there. Like, I can't know I'm gonna hit my second copy of Yasharn as opposed to my, you know, one of my 3 copies of Fae of Wishes. I mean, the opponent's archetype is literally doing exactly that, Kid Martian. It's not even hindsight, it's just the objectively wrong play. It's incorrect to do that. We find Fae, we can win the game. And at this point we're dead. Second Mayhem Devil's gonna murder our board, we'll die. Unfortunate last game there. Feel like we got pretty exceptionally unlucky in a couple of ways there. Like what, we drew like half our deck and didn't find a Fae of Wishes over half our deck. We like had 2 or 3 draw 4s to 5. Wow! A second mythic ICR we didn't have. We're running hot this morning, chat. We're running hot this morning. All in all, to set a low bar, this was the best paradoxical outcome deck that I have played on stream. That being said, this deck felt incredibly fragile. Like, the games where our opponents had 2 pieces of spot removal did not feel particularly winnable a lot of the time. Like, our Kinnans and our Mana Dorks kept dying, and we were just too slow, or just didn't quite get off the ground in a lot of the games. When we went off, it was really neat and satisfying, and you got to go through the motions. But I think on average, I would be surprised if this deck's particularly competitive, especially with, you know, Inquisition of Kozilek coming in the new card drop. Those black disruptive decks are probably going to be more popular, and like Faithless Looting making the Dreadhorde Arcanist deck probably prop up a little bit. Obviously, you're going to be able to potentially fit something like Mind's Desire in a shell like this, but I'm honestly also not sure, like, Mind's Desire in a lot of situations is going to be worse than just like drawing 4 to 5 as well. I don't know that it's always going to be better than like the Showdowns and the Escapes, so there's also a good chance, like, if you're building Mind's Desire, it just like ends up looking pretty different than what this is. Ghosted, thank you for the 2 years support, I appreciate that, welcome back. And Slightly Stupid, thanks for the follow. Alright.